Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you to a TV and Bullard First, our Bullard High School talk show. The name selected for our show is Odd Thursday. Odd Thursday will be a television feature shown in our cafeteria every other Thursday during the lunch hour. The first program will be shown at noon on March the 13th. The format of the program, as I understand it, will really be an open one. Pertinent topics of the day will be discussed and aired by students, faculty, and guest speakers. The main criteria for the program is that the subject be of interest to Bullard High School students. The potential for this program, as well as the enlargement of our present TV program, is tremendous, as I'm sure most of you realize. I visualize the day when there is a TV set in every classroom with open and closed TV reception. Just think of the available and potential resources this would bring to each classroom. As in all dreams and endeavors, people are necessary to make it work. I want to congratulate Mr. Lipson and his ITV class for taking their vision and initiative in making this program possible. We also appreciate their efforts in their regular TV class operation, as that program or service is excellent and growing. Your work is really quite professional. In reality, the success of the program really rests with you, the student body. Will you take an interest in the program and actively participate? It really should be fun both for the participant and the viewer. Thank you.
I'm Larry Dorr at the Bullard High School tennis courts. Bullard High was built in 1955 for 500 students and now has almost 1,800. Some facilities have been changed while others have not. The tennis courts are an example of this. Bullard still only has 4 courts and they are in poor playing condition. With me today is Mr. Jim Bone and Mrs. Jan Bullard, tennis coaches at Bullard. Coach, just what is the story?
We have a multitude of problems out here. This is probably one of the poorest facilities in the entire district. You've noticed out here you see lines which have grass growing out of them, you have cracked surfaces. You notice the nets, they're hung up on cables. The cables don't have winches to tighten them. We don't have fences. It's like trying to play baseball down here without a backstop. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd. We have an excellent brand of tennis player. Facilities should be much better for them. We've got a school with nearly 1,800 kids in it, 4 courts. We've got a tremendous amount of problems, and there doesn't seem to be any relief or any hope in sight. I don't know what we're going to do about it.
Yes, but aren't there some people who feel that Bullard's playing population is small, and Bullard seems to always have a good team anyway?
Well, you've asked 2 questions. The first part of that is, yeah, we do have a good team, but it's in spite of the courts, not because of it. A number of kids play tennis out here. You see them out here on the weekends. But it's not just the kids. We're talking about a community out here. Of those 1,800 kids, I doubt if 1% of them belong to the big gardens out here. It's any of the local tennis clubs. Where do they have to go to play tennis? We're looking at it right here. Trucks drive across here from one end to the other. You notice that the courts are rippled. They're dangerous. They've got dirt on them. Kids come out here, they slip, they fall. They're a hazard. They're just a tremendous hazard. As far as our tennis team, yeah, we're good. The kids are really good because they spend a lot of time playing still, but not necessarily on our courts.
Mrs. Galway, do you see any disadvantages for the girls' team with having only 4 courts?
My first girl thought she would have to quit the team because the courts were ruining her game.
Thank you. With cities like San Francisco cutting out sports entirely, don't you feel the money could be used elsewhere?
Used elsewhere, that's kind of a tough question, Larry, from the standpoint that, first of all, this school was designed with 500 kids in mind, and so they've got 4 tennis courts. We're talking about nearly 3-4 times that. If we had 3 times this number of courts out here, we would be adequate. We're not even up to par with any of the rest of the schools. The community needs a place for recreation. When you talk about money well spent, I think this is probably one of the best areas we could possibly spend it, be right here in this community, for the community, not just for the kids, but for everybody.
Is there anything the student body can do?
Other than let the word get out to the community, to their parents, tell people what the conditions are like here, and make it known that we do need better facilities here. I can't see if any money that they could really come up with that would help us. Maybe some community money might come in, but I don't see anything other than that.
Whatever the case may be, Bullard High does need improvement on their tennis courts. This is Larry Dorr reporting for Odd Thursday, KBUL.
The school senate has picked up a lot of static on students smoking. The school has to legally say no smoking on campus. Off campus is just outside the fence. We still have smoking in the bathrooms. Senate Bill 171 is a new law which would allow school districts to set up smoking areas on campus. Right now, Senate Bill 171 has passed the state Senate. Talk has it the Assembly will pass it too, and Governor Brown will sign. Our Board of Education will have to decide what to do with it.
Thank you, Jamie. I'd like to open the questioning. Mr. Chun, what will the school district do with this bill? How will they handle it in terms of what they think might be the separate areas set aside for smoking if it should be accepted?
This is a administration-sponsored bill that has the backing of a lot of the administrators because they feel it's a problem that they want to identify and move out. One of the reasons why in a motion that we had yesterday to support the bill or not support the bill, one of the criteria which changed my vote was when one of the administrators pointed out this gives us a chance to give students a better break at an education rather than suspension from school, because right now as it stands for being caught smoking on campus, it is suspension from school.
I see. You mean as providing less resistance to the student and more freedom, that he would be more encouraged to study.
Right.
Okay. Would you like to?
Yes, Mr. Chun, but what is the school board going to do about it? You said it changed your vote. What was the vote, and what is going to happen as of today?
I think as it stands right now, there probably will be if the bill becomes law, there will probably be a split vote on the board to try this in some of the schools.
How would you try that in some of the schools? I don't see
Well,
how we can
I mean,
try it here at Bullard and not try it somewhere else.
Well, we do have pilot programs that work at some of the schools for a period of time, 6 months or a year, and then we enlarge it throughout the district.
I see. So the school board might not act like a unit and set aside separate schools to take this program into hand.
Right. See, right now, I think DeWolf has a smoking area.
I see.
And because mainly there's a lot of the students there that are older.
Well, do you have any idea how this bill could be enforced on the campus should it decide to come through?
Again, it will be an administrative thing for the administrators on the site. I can see some problems with it that, if those that are smoking now are sort of doing it because, they're rebelling against authority and it says, this is my personal freedom and right. I can't see where designating an area, say 100 yards square or 100 feet square, saying this is your smoking area, and you step outside of that, why we're going to bust you, and if you stay inside of it, you're going to have the same kind of thing.
Well, do you see this as a liberalization of the city's views on matters? I mean, generally, you said they wanted to provide the student with more freedom. Do you think this will be coming up more?
I think what swayed me was that students are losing time because they're being suspended for school for a nuisance like smoking.
Right.
And it's something that we're not going to be able to cure by legislation. I mean, it's an individual choice.
The problem's been with us for years.
Right. So I don't see where we'll be able to to penalize the student for smoking by taking away his education. I think that's too severe a penalty.
Mr. Chen, I have 3 points I'd like to bring up. You mentioned it'd be up to the local administration. Now, you mean at a school site, or would the board adopt a district policy on handling the situation?
I would foresee that we would probably have a pilot project. You know, maybe at 2 schools, or maybe 3 schools, or maybe a probationary one at all schools. But the board is pretty evenly split, and the rationale behind it is that it's unhealthy, and it's injurious to students' health, and we shouldn't have any part of legitimatizing it. There's another viewpoint expressed that it's a big cop-out by the administration of trying to legitimize a illegal practice. And so there are some strong feelings about this particular thing, based not upon so much as the whether it's illegal, but you know, because of the substance involved.
Okay, other 2 points. Has the board done anything, or do you see them doing something about community involvement? I'm sure that's important, both from the health problem and, as you said, from the value of attending school because of suspension.
Right.
Has the community been involved?
I think the community has been involved. Community facilities have been involved. While the community has not been involved in this particular problem, much of the feeling of the board was that, you know, it's a parental problem with an individual child. And so this is why I think that you might have the smoking areas, because if the parents are allowing this at home, you know, it's pretty hard for an institution like a school to say, you know, I can't have it, because I can cite you for an example where many times in junior high the kid is dragged home with say, hey, we caught him smoking, and the mother says, well, I gave him the pack of cigarettes this morning. Now what are you going to do?
Which brings another problem, since possession of tobacco on campus in itself is
That's right.
reason for suspension.
That's right.
Well,
see, so
are you currently aware of the problems we have on campus?
oh
with
yes, yes. I was talking with a young lady from the student advisory board yesterday about. She was saying that the girls' bathrooms are just, you know,
That's exactly the problem here.
they have a layer of smoke that you just can't even quite get through. I mean, even if an administrator went in there to try to find out who was smoking, they couldn't identify
Well,
anybody for the
Not
amount of
only
smoke
that,
that
it's
was
a
in there.
continual frustration to parents. I know that, and administrators. And plus, groups of people outside the fence are at our school now, smoking there where they can be seen by all motorists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not approved by the parents, I know that. And sending them out on the camp, you know, out from the original limits of the campus, then that tends to discourage their views because they're not a part of school while they're, you know, attempting this.
I think there's another point that should be made both to the board and to the public, the amount of cost it takes to police these areas, teacher time, administrative time, which, for example, during my lunch hour, I could maybe be working with students, but I'm
Handling this problem.
out handling, you know, someone crossed the fence to smoke kind of a thing. So
That's
it takes a
right.
tremendous drain on the educational process.
That's right. We estimate that the administrative time is something in the neighborhood 10-15% of their time is spent policing this nuisance problem.
Well, this is a very interesting question. We're glad we had you here today. Thank you for coming, Mr. Chun.
Thank you.
This is Brian Rax with today's news. The 22nd Annual California Central Valley Science Fair will be held on March 7th through the 21st at the Fresno Convention Center Exhibit Hall. Everyone is invited to the awards program at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, March 9th. The fair will also be open on Thursday and Friday, March the 20th and 21st at 9 a.m. Coming up, students from Bullard High will be visiting Hearst Castle. In the past, teachers and students have been in conflict on how worthwhile this trip is. Each year, students enrolled in the U.S. history classes are given the chance to see this monument. About 300 kids are signed up to leave on 3 different dates. Mr. Costello will be on our next show to defend the merit of this outing. The annual Sadie Hawkins dance is coming up soon. April 4th is the date that has been set aside for this year's big night. So don't miss out on the fun of the biggest evening at Bullard this year. Now Lynn Temple with today's ski report.
Hi, this is Lynn Temple bringing you the KBUL ski report. With some snow still falling in the Sierras, the ski areas are reported to have excellent skiing conditions. China Peak reports a 4 to 7 foot base with packed powder. All runs are 100% groomed with 5 lifts in operation. Badger Pass reports 2 new inches of snow on a 7 to 8 foot base with excellent conditions. The slopes are all groomed with 3 lifts in operation. With great skiing everywhere, it looks like a real big weekend for you skiers. This is Lynn Temple, KBUL TV.
This is Danny Sivas for KBUL, and I'm here today with our new student body president, Lisa Stearns. Lisa, what were the issues in your campaign?
Well, actually, there weren't any.
Well, then why did people vote for you?
Well, I assume they thought I was capable and have had enough experience in student government that I could run the job efficiently.
Well, what is the whole purpose of student government?
Well, I think that student government gives a chance for the students at Bullard to have their say in what goes on here at school. Of course, we don't have complete authority. That is up to the principal and vice principal. But we do have some opinions.
Lisa, what do you plan to do?
Well, actually, I don't have any plans myself besides running the Senate correctly and efficiently. But our Senate, we run it as a whole. And they give the ideas and we make the plans, and it's just a matter of us working together.
Thank you, Lisa. This has been Danny Sivas for Odd Thursday.
Every day is Fashion Day at Hair Country at Shaw and West. Hair Country brings you style, and style gives you confidence and a lift. You feel like you have it all together. Get ahead of the fashions and come to Hair Country at Shaw and West.
Hi, this is Michelle Darby for KBUL. Today we're interviewing the coach of the swim team, Miss Wilson. Miss Wilson, why were the heat in the pool shut off in the first place?
Well, the president of the PUC sent a memorandum to all schools to turn the heat in the classrooms down to 65 degrees and the heat in the gymnasiums down to 60 degrees. And they also suggested that it be voluntary, that they shut off the heat in the pools to save on the natural gas. A lot of the parents called the PUC, and Gene Stevens at Fresno City College also called, and they found out this was a voluntary thing and it was not mandatory. They have to shut off the heat in the pools. So therefore, a lot of concerned citizens with swimming parents, and people that are in swimming went to a meeting, and they decided to go to the board meeting and see if we couldn't get the board to turn the heat back on in the pools. And then they were at the board meeting. A lot of the swimmers were there, and a lot of the parents were there, and then Mr. Rosander decided on Friday to turn the heat back on in the pools.
Okay, do you think the school district could go for a cover to put over the pool when not in use?
I think it'd be a very good idea for them to cover the pools. The covers cost around, one cover's $1,700, another cover is $2,000, but they'll save a lot of money by covering the pools. At Fig Garden, Don said that they saved 40% on their bill last month over what it was last year at the same time. They did have some sort of a cover on their pool last year, but they've gotten this new cover that's much, much better. And with that cover, they did save 40%. It was a lot colder than this time last year. So I think it is worthwhile investment.
Sounds like it. I read in the papers and heard on the news that it would cost $30, $40, maybe $50,000 to heat the pools in the school district. Don't you think this money could be spent for something of more importance?
Well, I think that it is important that we have our swimming program. It's important to the swimmers. There's around, I heard, 300 swimmers in the school district. I really don't know about your figures of the money. I really don't know how much it costs to heat the pools, but I do know that I had about 40-some girls come out for swimming here at Bullard, and to them it is important. A lot of seniors are dependent on scholarships, and it's important for their college education that they do have the swimming program, and I know I and all these people would hate to see it stopped.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wilson. This has been Michelle Darby for Odd Thursday.
Hi, this is Gaina Lawman for KBUL. Today I'm with Corey and Jackie Dunn, two of Bullard's most talented students when it comes right down to music. Corey, Jackie, when I say that, I really mean it. Both of you have gorgeous voices, and you play the piano and guitar and so many other instruments. Exactly how many instruments do you play?
Well, all together, including my brother and sister, we play around 15. But that's mainly the flute and piano, guitar, and bass.
I see. Well, how did you ever get started in this?
Our parents started us off when we were around 4, and from then we've gone to, well, first they started us off on the piano, and from then we've played different instruments.
4 years old.
Yes.
Wow, that's really young. Do you play anywhere?
Yeah, we play around town for different organizations and like weddings and receptions and dances.
Well, do you plan on making this a career, or pursuing this as a career?
Right now, we're just kind of doing it for our enjoyment, but I plan on majoring in music. I've been wandering early and late from New York City to the Golden Gate, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. My daddy was an engineer, my brother drives a hack, my sister takes a laundry while the baby boss a jack, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. Been in the army, I've worked on a farm, and all I've got to show is a muscle in my arm, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. Mama, she died when I was young. My daddy took to stealing and he got hung, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. Snakes in the ocean, eels in the sea, I let a red-headed woman make a fool out of me, and it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering. No, it don't look like I'll ever stop my wandering.
This is Reed Parks for KBUL. I'm here today with Principal Richard Neal to talk about one of the plans for desegregating high school. One of the alternatives is a 4-year high school. Mr. Neal, if we do go to a 4-year high school, where are we going to place the 9th graders that come in?
Well, Reed, I hope we don't go, but the one plan that I've heard is to take over Gibson School and put the 9th graders down there, remodel it, and add that to our plan.
If we were to use Gibson, what would they do with the elementary students there?
Well, I'm assuming that they would transfer to the elementary students to the adjacent elementary schools.
Are there any other plans?